Okay, greetings. This is the 1989 Holiday Rambler. Just taking a look at the roof, and to see how it's leaking. Just wanted to kind of do a quick and dirty video. It is over 100 degrees right now, so this is going to be a really short video. I came up here because the RV has sold, and I want to just do a courtesy check on the roof, see how the seals look. Now, this is a two-piece fiberglass roof with a little end cap at the end over here. The seals, they do look cracked, but after my most recent inspection, I have not seen any leak. I'm looking over here over the refrigerator vent. Let's see if that's about right. Looks good. It's one of the bathroom vents. It looks like it's been sealed over probably back, oh gosh, at least 15-20 years ago by the cracking. I did have one spot up here, it was cracked, but no water was pulled. I did put a little Flex Seal over that. Flex Seal on top of other sealants is a temporary patch. It's just a quick and dirty patch. I am just a little heavy, so it would be difficult for me to get to these other seams over here, because I'm scared if I stand on the roof would flex a little bit, and it might break what waterproofing there is right now. But as you can see, there are no places where it looks like water has pooled, and it looks like it does. It looks like it has been sealed over several times, but I think it should be good enough until the buyer gets it and reseals it. So that's just a quick video on the roof. I just want to tell you a little bit about sealants. So generally, with fiberglass like this, you want to actually do research and not cheap out on sealant. Something like Flex Seal might hold. How long would this hold? Provided it doesn't rain for a little while, weather stays constant, I'd say Flex Seal might get you about 2 to 3 months worth of a hold on a roof. I've had a few RVs in the past. Flex Seal, I would recommend maybe traveling with it, but not relying on it as a permanent patch. I would look for a really fairly high-end RV sealant. If you cheap out and get something $20 off Amazon, you're gonna get $20 worth of value that's gonna hold a couple months. I've tried it with other RVs in the past. I haven't ever actually got on this one and sealed this one, since I haven't really worked on it much and it never leaked. But you're going to look for some type of a sealant that would adhere to fiberglass. And if you're going to seal it, you'd have to pull up all the old sealant, clean it with alcohol or some type of mineral spirit. Well, you might have to double check on the mineral spirit. Alcohol, possibly mineral spirits. I just don't know how mineral spirits would act on the fiberglass. And then you would want to possibly sand it a little bit. Then you'd want to find yourself a fiberglass RV sealant, or preferably some type of marine sealant, something that can handle temperature variance and a lot of water. Rule of thumb with sealants and RV roofs. This is fiberglass. This is probably the least maintenance next to an all aluminum riveted roof you would do. But it's probably about the least amount of maintenance you'd have to have on a roof. A lot of RV construction has some type of an end cap that would come up here, end about here, and then underneath the end cap there'd be some type of vinyl, fiberglass, or aluminum. If they have an end cap, they tend to have a pull. They pull water, and it'll sit up here in like a joint. And in this joint, it will pull water. And if it's a different material, like for instance, let's pretend this end cap right here was aluminum, and then a thick aluminum, and this was like a thin aluminum. I had a, oh gosh, what was the name of it? Might have been a Fleetwood or a Forest River Work and Play, I forget. It had a thin aluminum sheet metal roof, sealant kind of like this around the vents and AC, and then it had a thick aluminum bezel over here, kind of like a rim. What would happen is, when it would rain, it would pull water. The water would pull up there for several days because it had about a 1/4 of an inch jump between the gap. Now keep in mind, this isn't this RV, but this is an RV I had in the past. And then whenever the sun would come out, you could be in the RV and you would hear the roof flexing, pop, 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 creak, creak. And after just a few weeks of that temperature variant, it would pull the seals right out. And I had the hardest time. I had to literally settle on a probably about a $65 marine sealant to do that. Before that, I even tried doing some Alumaroof on that. Alumaroof is it's kind of like it's like a roll-on adhesive in a bucket. I picked it up from, I think, Home Depot. And the adhesive has aluminum chunks, so you have to mix it up kind of like paint if it was sitting a little while. Then you roll it on. It's supposed to create a barrier above the roof with the sealant and the aluminum oxide powder on top of it to create a temperature variant. So it's supposed to, at least advertise, cool it a little bit. Now, I'm going to tell you, that stuff is awful. Yes, I think it was a little bit of a temperature variant, but in the south, when you get near 90s, 100-degree heat, the adhesive will start to soften up, and if you have to get back on that roof 6 months later, you're going to be leaving shoe prints, and anywhere you walk, you're going to be getting that aluminum stuff on your tracks. So maybe up north, if you already have it good sealed, it might work. I also notice it does not adhere to any type of sealant, whether that be any type of tar-based sealant, which I've seen on some RVs. Silicone, I haven't seen it adhere to that very well either. More like an RV sealant. I'm not sure what type of sealant this is. This is really hard. Whatever this is, and it doesn't really flex. So I can tell whatever sealant this was, it was really good. But when you're putting sealant down, just repeating myself again, you can't really apply sealant to sealant. Sealant to sealant doesn't generally adhere to itself. If you mix and match brands, that's a no-go. I expect it to unadhere. There's small little pieces of dirt and debris in there. Even if you clean it really well, it's still going to cause air pockets and allow water to seep through. So when you're resealing, you have to peel the sealant off. Either if you've got big gaps, you might have to look at some type of fiberglass tape or some type of filler. If you got a cavity, you could probably use some type of insulation foam. Top that with a little bit of fiberglass on this type of roof if you had a hole. And then fiberglass over it, sand it, and then you could apply some sealant on top of it just to be extra careful. With this type of a fiberglass roof, it looks like it has an actual original like gel coat. I believe they put gel coat on top of these fiberglasses. This is an 89. I don't believe it's been re-gel coated. But gel coats hold up a long time. They hold up a good while in marine environments, several years. But on an RV, it looks like it's going to hold up a lifetime, just about. But just kind of a quick rundown before I end this video and my rambling. I've got a couple more videos I'm going to do on this RV before I let it go today. So you have the ladder in the back. I think I read max weight on the ladder on the back is 250, I believe. You probably could be 300, get up there. I could climb up there probably without any issue. It's just my issue is, if I'm not going to reseal this roof today, I don't want to put weight on single spots here and risk separating these joints even more. But I just did a quick inspection of the inside, did not leak. But aluminum seems, not aluminum, fiberglass seems to be, at least in my opinion, one of the better materials. Only roof I've seen better would probably be old Airstreams that have the solid aluminum, but still you actually have to find a way to seal any vents in there. So you have to find a sealant that will work on the aluminum and handle the temperature differences. And then there's an older type of camper, I don't believe they were made in a motorhome, called Spartans. I've seen a couple of them, and they're kind of like Airstreams, but a little more high-end. They're a little rarer, they're a little boxier. That's also another option if you're looking for different types of roofs. I just don't like modern RV construction where it's some type of vinyl on the top, maybe like a fiberglass cap or some type of plastic cap on the side. I just don't like those. Those vinyl roofs are really, really difficult to deal with. A lot of times you'll have to pull off the siding, peel off the vinyl off the whole roof, and then you'll actually have to see if there's any rotten wood underneath, because they usually just put plywood on top. Then you'll have to replace, cut out the wood if there's any leaking spots, because they always leak. And then you'll have to reapply adhesive all over the whole thing, reapply adhesive to the vinyl, roll it down, and then once you roll it down, then you'll have to put your end caps back on and find some type of sealant or silicone or marine or RV sealant and put on the end caps and put them back in place. And even after that, with one of those composite roofs, you're still going to, at least in my experience, see a leak after 2 or 3 years. If your RV is kept under a shed, or preferably under a shed or in a barn, those type of roofs, I would say you're probably looking at 10 years before probably having to do some type of replacement. Because you're still going to get temperature variance, you'll get moisture when you carry it out and about. The RV is going to flex when you drive, so the sealant will break down. You might have to reseal it every so often. General rule of thumb: if it's in a shed, you only really have to check the roof maybe a week or two before you take your trip, just to make sure there's no cracks. Carry a little sealant with you, maybe some Flex Seal just to throw over in case it does start to spring a leak. You want to make sure you clean the area thoroughly. If it is a modern RV, you know, clean the area thoroughly, then you can apply the sealant. If you have your RV outdoors but with a tarp or a cover, generally same thing. You probably want to pull the tarp or cover a couple days to a week, and the reason why I say a couple days to a week before that would be so you can actually get up on a roof and get up like this, inspect it, check the seals, make sure there's no make sure nothing looks cracked or anything. Apply some sealant to it before you take your trip, or have enough time to reseal it before you go somewhere. So generally that. And if you have your RV out in the weather like it is right now without a tarp on, you're going to want to check it probably at least monthly. Get up on a ladder, climb up on the top, give it a quick inspection. Now I will say, word of warning, I know this video is running a little long. When you're on a roof like this, you want to wear sunglasses, you want to wear long sleeves, and you want to wear some type of face covering. Now I'm going to flip the camera around, show you what I'm looking like right now. The reason why is, if you do not wear any type of facial covering or glasses, and you sit on top of a roof like this for 30-40 minutes, a couple hours resealing it, this sun will reflect off of these white panels. It will even be worse off of aluminum. And you will have some bad sunburn, and you can even sunburn your retina. I've had that happen to me a couple times, and never again. The fact that you're trying to go through life for a week or two, and your eyes burn and sting and light hurts it, and everybody wonders why your eyes are red. It's not worth the pain and hassle. Put on some protective gear. Wear sunscreen if you're going to wear short sleeves or on your face. Definitely have some type of protective gear. Have gloves. A lot of sealants can be mildly corrosive and cause inflammation, irritation, rashes, allergic reactions. That's what I'm looking for. So you want to have some type of glove, nitrite. I don't recommend latex. Latex tears really easily. But if you're ever wearing or using mystery chemicals you're not sure of, I always recommend layering gloves. If you don't know what the chemical is and you have to handle it right then and there, that's not a very good idea to do. And you don't have a clue what it is. Different gloves break down to different chemicals. So I would do, I've tripled up on gloves before: vinyl, latex, and then nitrite being the most flexible on top. That way, if something seeps through one chemical, if I handle it for a few seconds, I could toss the other gloves. I don't handle chemicals like that often, but if you don't know what it is and you have to touch it or move it, it's a good idea. But I would say wear gloves, maybe wear 2 gloves. If you're applying some type of silicone or latex or chemical like that, when you apply the chemical and you need your hands free, because you don't want to get residue on like your ladder or something else you're touching, you can always peel the top layer of gloves off, and then you'll have a fresh clean pair over there to work with something else. It helps you prevent cross contamination. It might help prevent you to mixed chemicals that might have an adverse reaction. Just a little tip, a little advice. Thank you for watching this RV video. This is not our normal content, but we will do some vehicle related content in the future. Thank you for checking out the channel, Dopefish Productions, and have a good day and take care, everybody.